Hello, what is up? My name is Vincent, and I'm happy to have you here. I will be honest with you, I have been sort of at a loss for what to do when it comes to all the craziness that's happening with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering. It's one of those things where if you didn't know, I myself am a game designer. I myself have also dealt with, we'll call them battles with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. And these battles wounded me greatly, to say the least. They were terrible to go through. And so I don't really want to get into the nitty gritty because I don't want to have them go after me again. Um, but of course, I don't know. It's a fine line to balance, though, of course, because so many people are going after Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, and rightfully so. And I like taking a few shots at them because of my personal experience and what I've went through. I have been saying that they've been greedy for a long time now, for at least a few years. It's pretty evident with the choices that they've been making, and they keep making worse choices, so now it's very obvious to everyone. But with the way that they handled and treated my situation, and how they came out years ago saying that they look to double their profits, and they're already the top dog. They already are like multi-billion-dollar corporation, and they want to keep doubling. Like, to me, the writing's on the wall. And then when they was messing up Magic and trying to squeeze it for all it's worth, and then they did the $1,000 proxies. I had some people believe well, they messed up so bad with Magic the Gathering with the 30th year anniversary, they're going to start backpedaling. But I said they weren't. They plan years in advance. They don't make these decisions on a whim. They're very calculated. And to me, I feel like they even have more down the road that would be bad. But now, because of how bad the press is for them, I do think it's possible that they won't unveil anything too terrible or anything worse anytime soon. But I could be wrong. They've been very surprising in multiple different ways. But overall, I don't want to be overly negative on this channel and just as a person. It's kind of a tough balance because as a content creator and as someone that has my own opinions, and when I became a creator, when I started making games, I was lit up with joy with everything in the industry. I, more than nothing else, just wanted to jump in and have a good time, celebrate the hobby, and just laugh and make friends and enjoy things. And that's naturally what I'm about. But the problem is when I jump in and try to enjoy things, and then I have people bullying me, trying to take my stuff, trying to take my social media handles, take my trademarks, say that the way that I enjoy gaming is stupid or dumb or dismissed, or we don't want to review content like yours, or we don't enjoy the anime art style, or that's less than that's less than us, or whatever it may be. It gets harder and harder to just be smiley and enjoy things, because at that point you just feel stupid. If you're all like, hey guys, let's have a good time, and they're like, we don't like you, get lost, and you're like, all right, whatever you say, guys, just here to have a good time, then it's like, it makes me feel stupid. I'm someone that, even though I prefer to be positive and I prefer to be I don't know, just optimistic about things and just spread joy, at a certain point, if you're getting kicked, it makes you out to be an idiot, and I don't want that to be the case. If you are kicking me, if you're trying to I don't know, push on me in any way, I have gotten to the point where I push back. But then it's at the point where I'm finding myself in that predicament more times than I would prefer and more times than I would like. And so it's like, okay, wow, how much do I want to speak out against this, about this? How much do I want to call this out? Because in my ideal world, I mean, we would just get along and things would be fine. People would enjoy what they want to enjoy. If you want to enjoy that game, you'd enjoy it. If I want to enjoy this one, I'd enjoy it. And we wouldn't have to worry about those companies like weirdly going after people or hating us or whatever it may be, or making things super political and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to have a good time playing games. And Wizards of the Coast made it very obvious to me years ago that that's not where they stood with things. They are a company rather that they care more about their bottom end and being not just a part of the industry, but they want to be the industry. They don't want to just have a game about Magic. They want to own the word Magic. They want to own everything close in proximity to that. They want everything to tie back into them as it relates to the tabletop gaming space, and that's something that's not compatible if you're a small publisher that they don't want to work with. Instead, they want to destroy. It's so I can't just be like, oh, I support Magic the Gathering, let me buy some more cards as you're trying to destroy me. It just doesn't make sense. So, it's an unfortunate set of circumstances, but I wanted this video to not be about all of the, Wizard of the Coast is being destroyed and Paizo's owning them and blah, 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 because that's true. But I wanted to focus it a bit more on this being a win for the industry as a whole. Now, I am someone that's been burned multiple times when I get super excited about something, so I always have a bit of reservation in my heart. Overall, Paizo and other tabletop RPG companies are banding together to make what they are calling ORC, which is like an open RPG system that will essentially fulfill the role that the original license for D&D had done, but this is a new one, and their plan is to make it so it's not revocable no matter what, and that they will not own it. So overall, that seems like a good thing. It's like, okay, D&D fumbled it here, Paizo's picking up, and they're doing what D&D should have been and basically what people thought it was. And in a large way, I think that's a huge win for the industry. Now, as my own sort of game designer and I have my own visions of what I want to see for art. It's tough for me to feel compelled to create something using someone else's system. I got a certain way that I like to do things. I have my own artistic, vision that I want to see fulfilled. But with that being said, who knows, if this is something that is a true win in the industry and people love it. And if it's something that my audience wants, then who am I to deny that from you guys? So if that's something you want to see, I'm keeping my eyes peeled for it. But I'm also a bit reserved because I don't exactly know how this is until it's released, until people can look at it more in depth. I see what they are claiming, but, companies have claimed, good things all the time, and then what they end up doing might be something different. Wizards of the Coast is very notorious for that one. So I'm just sort of holding my breath on this, seeing where it goes, because the last thing I want to do is put all my limited resources into this basket right out the gate without having seen what's coming of it and then be burned at the end of it, But either way, overall, I think it's a major win for the industry. For the longest time, there are people that would always side with Wizard of the Coast, no matter what, because they just love the name Dungeons and Dragons and they're connected to it. And it's something that I understand it gives us like a universal language where we can all speak to one another, saying like, "Oh, you like tabletop RPGs," and like you could talk about D&D in a way that's so easy because everyone like knows what it is now. I mean, even people outside the industry know what it is, and that's awesome. But it just makes it so like people were just so hesitant to leave it or to try something new or to like give anything else a chance really. And even friends or people that knew my situation, I mean, not any close friends, thank goodness, but I have some people I associate with, and they were just like, man, it sucks seeing you go through this. It sucks seeing what they've done and what they're doing. But yeah, I'm just gonna play D&D because it's cool, and it's just like, okay. So I think seeing this massive movement together is awesome, and I can't wait to see what comes of it. I'm happy that people finally are seeing how greedy and corrupt Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro are. Granted, I am aware that this isn't every single worker there. I know that there's lots of wonderful people that works at both companies. I know that in a lot of cases, this is the higher ups. I see some people saying that this is entirely Hasbro and not any higher ups from Wizards of the Coast. I can personally confirm that that's not the case. Like I dealt with pretty awful people, in my opinion, from Wizards of the Coast, and a little bit from Hasbro. So I don't think it's all Hasbro. But I do think either way, it's both largely the higher ups at both companies. But either way, I'm excited to see what comes from this. There's a lot of fun. I think people are now more than ever interested in trying new RPGs. Even if a large swath of them move over to ORC, I think that's still better than it propping up Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. And I just never thought I would see this day, to be honest. It's something that I'm still kind of in shock over. Like, this is such a major hit to them. Like, I know for a fact there are going to be people that will double down on Dungeons and Dragons. They'll still support it, but it just seems like overall, like regardless of where you fall politically or your beliefs or whatever, it just seems like this is greatly affecting them. Even if they're still the biggest name in the industry, that doesn't matter to me. It's just like them being knocked down a few pegs, and I didn't know that I would see that anytime soon, if at all. And it just means the world to me, to be honest, because when I tried to speak out about what happened to me, I had lots of people try to silence me, and it's a reason why I don't feel comfortable talking completely about it now, because people just made it clear, like, hey, like, so hard to talk about, but let's just say that I felt like I had no power in this situation. Like, I was like, hey, don't talk about this, don't say anything about it, and you're not allowed to, and they took this from you, and you just have to deal with it. So to see that people are sort of rallying together, even if it's not entirely for that reason, or for that reason at all, really, but it's for the reason that they've overreached in their greed, which I feel like deals with what I dealt with a lot. It just means the world to me, to be honest. So if you're someone that's new here, if you have not seen me before, if you want to support what I do, be sure to check out my website, VindicateDentertainment.com. We have a link for it in the description below. We also have an awesome Discord channel. We have some new games coming out. We have lots of cool stuff and an awesome community. So we'd love to see you there. And as always, take care and stay awesome.
I didn't expect this. What? Nothing to say? Well, allow me! The past never dies. You will reap everything you've sown!